Hello students, how are you? Hope you are doing well. So I welcome you to the second session of the class. In the previous session, we have learnt about the definition of gravitation, the various facts related to gravitation. We have learnt about gravity. In this class, we will discuss a law that is related to gravitation. The law was formulated by Sir Isaac Newton and it is termed as the universal law of gravitation. So let us discuss the law. So see here, universal law of gravitation. So I am reading out the statement of the law. The law states that the force of attraction acting between two bodies placed at a certain distance apart is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of their separation. That means, if we consider two bodies which are placed at a certain distance apart, a force of gravitation will act between them. This force, how will you find out the value of this force? We can find out the value of this force using this law. The law states that the force that is acting between the masses is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of their separation. So we will discuss this law mathematically. Okay? I hope that you have written it down. If you have not written it, kindly pause the video and write the statement in your copy. So let us go to the mathematical analysis of the universal law of gravitation. So suppose we take two bodies and they are separated by a distance r. We consider the masses of the bodies as m1 and m2. So if these two masses are placed at a distance r, we know that a force of gravitation will act between them. m2 will be pulled towards m1. Suppose will be pulled towards m1 in this direction, and suppose this force is F. Similarly, m1 will be pulled towards m2 and this force is also F, because we know gravitational force is equal and opposite. So according to the law, F, that is the force of attraction, is directly proportional to the product of their masses, that is m1 into m2. Similarly, F is inversely proportional. Read the statement. Force is inversely proportional to the square of their separation. What is the separation here? It is r, so it will be 1 by r square. Again, the force of gravitation acting between these two masses is directly proportional to the product of their masses, and F is inversely proportional to the square of their separation. So if I combine these two relations, we get F proportional to m1 m2 by r square. Okay? Here, if we remove the proportionality sign, we have to put a constant. So F is equal to, here the constant is denoted by capital G, m1 m2 by r square. So this is the mathematical form of the universal law of gravitation, where capital G is called universal gravitational constant why the term universal is used here? Because the value of G will not change anywhere in the universe. Okay, is called universal gravitational constant, and its value, the value was determined by a scientist named Henry Cavendish. So, and its value is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. You should remember the value of G. It is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Okay, so this is the law. The force acting between two bodies is directly proportional to the product of their masses, that is m1 m2 is inversely proportional to the square of their separation, that is 1 by r square. So F proportional to m1 m2 by r square, or F is equal to G m1 m2 by r square, where G is called the universal gravitational constant and its value is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Okay. Now, how to find the unit of G? We know the unit of capital G is Newton meter square per kg square, but how can we find it? See here, it is actually the SI unit of capital G. So, unit of capital G. We know that F is equal to G m1 m2 by r square. Now, if I cross multiply, G will be equal to F r square by m1 into m2. Now, in the second chapter, you have learnt about the unit of force. The unit of force, I am directly putting the unit here. So, it is Newton. R means the distance. So, the unit of distance is meter. So, we put here meter square because it is r square divided by, here you see m1 is mass. So, the unit of mass is kg. So, and here m2, this is also the this is also a mass. So, it will be kg into kg, that is kg square. So, here we get the unit of G, that is Newton meter square per kg square. The unit of G, Newton meter square per kg square. Okay. Next, this law of gravitation is also termed as the inverse square law. Why? The universal law of gravitation, is also called inverse square law. Why? So if you see the statement, you will see that the force is inversely proportional to what? The square of their separation. That means the square of the distance between the two masses. That is why it is called the inverse square law. So you can write it that the force of attraction between two bodies is inversely proportional to the square of their separation. Square of their separation. So this is the reason why the universal law of gravitation is also called the inverse, inverse, inverse square law. Fine. Next, we will discuss about the importance of the law of gravitation. So if you see page number 134 of your textbook, page number 134 of your textbook, you will see the heading importance of the universal law of gravitation. So what are the importance? It explains several phenomena. What are the phenomena? The force that binds us to the earth, the motion of the moon around the sun, around the earth, the motion of the planets around the sun, the tides due to the moon and the sun. All these phenomena can be explained by the universal law of gravitation. So it is given very nicely in your book, point wise it is given. So you write it down from your book. The heading is importance of universal law of gravitation. You can write it from your book, point wise it is given. I am reading it out again. The universal law of gravitation successfully explained several phenomena which were believed to be unconnected. The force that binds us to the earth, number 1 point. Number 2, the motion of the moon around the earth. Number 3, the motion of the planets around the sun. And number 4, the tides due to the moon and the sun. You have seen tides in the sea. So this phenomenon can be easily explained by the universal law of gravitation. Now let me give a numerical illustration to the universal law of gravitation. So here you see in page number 134, example number 10.1, the mass of earth is given. So the mass of earth is 6 into 10 to the power 24 kg. And the mass of moon is given. So the mass of moon is 7.4 into 10 to the power 22 kg. And they are separated by a distance. So r is also given here, 3.84 into 10 to the power 5, 3.84 into 10 to the power 5 kilometer. So we know that kilometer is not the SI unit, so convert it to SI unit, it will be 3.84 into 10 to the power, kilometer means 10 to the power 3 meter, so it will be 3.84 into 10 to the power 8 meter. So here you have to find out the force that is exerted by the earth on the moon. Take capital G equal to 6.7 into 10 to the power minus 11. So here R is given 3.84 into 10 to the power 8 meters. So F is equal to, that is the force acting between the two bodies, that is earth and moon, will be G ME into MM by R square. So rest is the calculation part. 6.7 into 10 to the power minus 11, it is given in the question, into ME, it is 6 into 10 to the power 24, and the mass of the moon is given 7.4 into 10 to the power 22 divided by R square. So R is 3.84 into 10 to the power 8 square. So this is the application of the universal law of gravitation in solving numericals. So if we do the calculation, the value that we will get is, you see here in the textbook it is already given, it is 2.02 into 10 to the power 20. It is 10 to the power 20 Newton. Okay. So this is a numerical illustration related to the universal law of gravitation. Okay. So we have done, or we have learnt about the universal law of gravitation. We have learnt about the importance of the universal law of gravitation. We know that what does capital G mean. The capital G is the universal gravitational constant, and then we have done a numerical illustration related to it. In the next topic, we will go to free fall. See your book, it is given there, free fall. Now, what does free fall mean? What does free fall mean? Suppose we take an object, release it, it will fall only under the action of gravity. If we release an object from a certain height, it will only fall under the action of gravity. That is, the gravitational pull of the earth will bring the object down towards the surface of the earth. Okay, this is called free fall. So free fall, the definition of free fall will be the motion, it is the motion of a body under only under the action of gravity. It is the motion of a body only under the action of gravity. Nothing else is acting there, no other force is acting there, only the gravitational force is pulling the object down towards the surface of the earth. Okay, so this is called free fall. Next term is acceleration due to gravity. So write acceleration due to gravity, denoted by small g. Fine. Now what is acceleration due to gravity? We have learnt about acceleration in the first lesson. What was acceleration? It is the rate of change of velocity. So think that a body is falling freely towards the surface of the earth. It will accelerate. That means the velocity of the body will increase as it comes down. If you throw a body upwards, the velocity of the body will decrease. So since there is a change in velocity, so there will be an acceleration, because rate of change of velocity is acceleration. So the term acceleration due to gravity is, it is the acceleration acquired by a freely falling body. It is denoted by small g. So it is the acceleration acquired by a freely falling body. That means when there is no other force other than the force of gravity, then the acceleration, the speed will increase as it falls downwards. So the acceleration that will be acquired by the body is called acceleration due to gravity. Okay. Now it is denoted by, I have already written there, it is denoted by small g. Okay. Near the surface of the earth, near the surface of the earth, its value is 9.8 meter per second square. This is acceleration due to gravity. It is the acceleration acquired by a freely falling body. It is the acceleration acquired by a freely falling body. It is denoted by small g. Near the surface, if we consider the object near the surface, it is not very much far from the surface of the earth, then its value will be 9.8 meter per second square. Okay. So now how we have got this value? Let us find out. Calculation of the value of small g. Calculation of the value of small g. Okay. Now see here, suppose this is the earth. Its mass is capital M. Here the earth's radius is capital R. Now if we consider an object near the surface, its mass is small m. Fine. So what is the force of attraction acting between the earth and this object? So F will be equal to, according to universal law of gravitation, F is equal to G capital M small m by r square. G capital M small m by r square. Now what is this force? This is the gravitational force. Gravitational force also means the weight of the body. That means it is the force with which the earth attracts this body towards its center. So this is the force F, which is also the weight of the body. Again, so we can write again F is equal to, we know from second law of motion, the force is given by mass into acceleration. So here small m is the mass, and what is the acceleration? The acceleration is acceleration due to gravity. So the force is mass into acceleration due to gravity, which is the weight of the body, weight of the object. Okay. Now if I compare these two, therefore mg is equal to G capital M small m by r square. Small m capital M cancelled, so G is equal to, I think it is not visible, see here, mg is equal to G capital M small m by r square, or G is equal to G capital M by r square. So this is the expression for small g. Fine. Now if we replace them with the values, there are some known values like the mass of the earth, the radius of the earth. So if we replace those known values here, so G will be equal to, capital G is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11. This is the value of capital G. Next is G M. M means capital M, that is the mass of the earth, which is 6 into 10 to the power 24 kg. Remember, the mass of the earth is 6 into 10 to the power 24 kg divided by the radius. The radius is 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter square, and this value will be, if we calculate, it will be 9.8 meter per second square. So in this way we can find out the value of small g near the surface of the earth. It is 9.8. This is approximately equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Okay. So here today we have learnt many things like the universal law of gravitation. We have learnt about the importance of universal law of gravitation. We have seen what does capital G mean, which is the universal gravitational constant. We know what is small g. It is the acceleration due to gravity. That means the acceleration with which a body moves towards the center of the earth or towards the surface of the earth. We have found the value of small g, which is 9.8 meter per second square near the surface of the earth. So this is the end of the second session, and from here we will continue in our next session. Thank you.